Paticca Samupada. Do you know the meaning of this one? Dependent upon origination. Still, many of our devotees have no clear understanding. It is not so easy for us to get clear understanding because we have to study these subjects. Simply by listening to a talk or reading certain books, straight away you cannot catch the real meaning or the real concept, what the Buddha really wanted to convey us. We create our own imaginations. That is what we are doing. But this understanding we had to develop gradually. I think you can remember that I told you, when I was studying or when I was young, certain belief, ideas that I had about the Buddha's teaching, I had to withdraw. Now, I have different concept. It is due to experience and the maturity of our understanding. So we cannot understand many things what the Buddha has taught without studying, concentrating, discussing. Even then, take a long time for us to understand. So this subject is the most difficult thing for ordinary people to understand. Very complicated. Because different religions give different interpretation about the will of the existence or the life. To many people, the life was originated somewhere, then transmigrate. After that, some others say, this was not originated anywhere else. At once created by somebody, some sort of supernatural authorities or agents or powers. But this belief is very easy to maintain because there is nothing very much for us to study and think. Small children also can understand. But those who think very deeply, mostly philosophers, scientists, psychologists, rationalists, could not satisfy with the same age-old belief. Because there were so many contradictions or some sort of unsatisfactoriness regarding their interpretation. So many people refer to the Buddha, even agnostics like Bertrand Russell and some others, they appreciate the Buddha's attitude. At the same time, regarding this particular subject, Paticca Samupada in the Pali language, so in English we say dependent upon origination. That means anything that which exists with the matters or energies never come into existence if there is no connection with another link. Depend on something else. Otherwise, this thing or that things never appear. Now that is the real meaning of Paticca Samupada. The same thing recently scientists also realized. But their interpretations is confined only to the existing matters and elements, because their knowledge about the mental activities is not very accurate. Like theory of evolution, Darwin's interpretation, depend on elemental side. He had no idea about the mental process, evolutions of mental process. So that is only one-sided. But in the Buddha's teaching, it is very clearly explained how these elements and the energies appear and exist and reappear. So in scientific language, they use relativity. That means all these existing things are relative, but not independent. But very recently they realized this. When the Buddha mentioned this earlier, people could not understand what he was talking about. How the life is originated. But here in this particular discourse, the Buddha did not mention about the origin of the life, because he has mentioned in his teaching there is no origin. Now that is what people cannot understand. They think there must be an origin. So when we explain this wheel of existence, you can understand why there is no beginning. Because according to our normal way of thinking, there must be some sort of origin or the beginning. But we do not know how to analyze and to find out the things that we refer as origin. what it is. If we can analyze that origin that we refer, then we can understand it is impossible to have an origin. Again, the Buddha says, after gaining his enlightenment, first week, second week, third week, and the fourth, that means 1 month. When he was concentrating on matters and the mind, that is called Nama and Rupa. On the fourth week, so one particular chapter in the Buddha's teachings confined only for this subject, the analytical interpretation of elements and the mind, which you cannot find in many other religions. This is called Abhidhamma. So the Paticca Samupada is one aspect of Abhidhamma. So on the fourth week, when he was concentrating, he used that analytical knowledge through his enlightenment and went on analyzing, then explained this. Of course, he did not preach. That moment there was nobody to listen to him. He did not talk, but he developed his analytical interpretation. The later, in his various discourses, he explained to his disciples. Now this is called Paticca Samupada. Again he says, Yo Paticca Samupadam janati, so Dhammang janati. Meaning, one who knows the meaning of this Paticca Samupada or dependent upon origination, he knows the Dhamma, the real Dhamma. Without this knowledge, so whatever Dhamma we study, that knowledge is not accurate. Always there are some misconception, misunderstanding, and if not lack of understanding in that knowledge. But when we study this particular subject, we know how to analyze all the other aspects of the Dhamma. Now let us start. I try my best to make it very simple, since it is a very deep subject. I think you can understand, because you have been listening to various other discourses. You have developed background to grasp, to understand this particular subject. Where is the beginning of this circle? Can you point out where is the beginning? Cannot. That's right. We can begin, start from anywhere. Right. That is the beginning. But do you remember the parable that I have given some times ago? Can you remember? What is that? Cannot. If you want to know the beginning of a river, now let us take this Klang river. You want to know the beginning, right? Then what do? You go on surveying and searching, then climbing hills and rocks and Gunting Highlands and that area, then found out the beginning of the Klang river. You found out that is the beginning. How did you find out? So you found out at the bottom of a rock or a hill, the water dripping. Then this water then slowly and turn into a river. This is the beginning of the Klang river. You are right, isn't it? You discover. Then some others say, oh, we cannot satisfy with this. This cannot be the beginning. Then how this water started to dropping from here? Where this water come from? Then again they go on searching and found out the accumulated water, the top of the hill dripping. So this is not the beginning, not the bottom, but the top of the hill is the beginning of the river. They also found out the beginning. Then some others say, right, how this water accumulated here on the top of this hill? Then develop further. This is nothing but rain water accumulated there. So the beginning of the Klang river is not at the bottom or the top of the hill, but rain. Then some others ask, then what is the beginning of the rain? How this water come down from the sky? Of course, when we were very young, our parents taught us, whenever there's a rainbow, the sky, they say, the king of the heaven, Sakra, when he wanted to take water from here, he dropped this one to collect water from here, and after that the rains pour down. Right. That is their interpretation. Because they have noticed, experience. This is the way how we measure how we understand everything that which exists in this world. But all these are our imagination. What we can see, what we can hear, and what we can think, we accept as truth. But today, scientists have explained the significance of this rainbow. Even small children also can understand. Not only that, for thousands of years, all over the world, people believe, even today, people believe that the sun goes around this earth. Because we can see. In the morning we can see it is here. At midday we can see on the top. And evening we can see in the other. It is true. But this one remains as it is. But the sun goes. Can you say no? This is the way how we understand things. Later, people, there were some people who could understand actually what is happening. So they knew it is not the sun, but this one is going on turning. But we can see only the movement of the sun, but not this one. So when we analyze anything in this world that people have accepted as truth, so our truth is like this. There is no reality, only our imagination. That is why many people could not understand and appreciate when the Buddha has revealed so many hidden secrets regarding our existence, our life, because this interpretation goes against their belief. So, again we have to analyze how this rainwater originated. Today we know this water never come down from heaven. The water taken from here because of the sun again drop. No argument, no controversy. The water taken from the same river can drop there and again come back to the same river. Then where is the beginning? Beginning of the calendar. So the end and the beginning both are there in the same river. Ending and beginning, both. That is what the Buddha trying to show us. I think this parable help you to understand this. That means the objects or the matter or the energies that we have pointed out as the beginning of something depend on something else. That is not the origin. Beginning means ending of another thing. If there is no ending of another thing, there is no beginning. This is the nature of existence. Let us take the same sun. We can see in the evening the setting sun there. That is ending to us. But to some others in other part of the world, that is the beginning of the sun. Ending here, condition the beginning of this sun in another part of the world. Here the Buddha tried to show us the beginning of our life also exactly like this. So he has completely rejected the belief that people maintain for thousands of years that the life was created by someone, came from somebody. Only religion. But even then, there are few intellectuals who can appreciate and understand. To many others, this is not a satisfactory interpretation because cannot understand. Because they want something according to their way of thinking. They cannot go beyond that. Right? Avidya paccaya sankhara, sankhara paccaya vijnanam, vijnana paccaya nama rupam, nama rupa paccaya salayatanam, salayatana paccaya phasso, phassa paccaya vedana, vedana paccaya tanha, tanha paccaya upadanam, upadana paccaya bhavo, bhava paccaya jati, jati paccaya jara maranam soka parideva dukkha domanasupayas. This is the way how the Buddha analyzed this existence. This is called Paticca Samupada, 12 link. All are interrelated. Depend on the other one. Cause and effect. If there is no cause, there is no effect. If there is no effect, there won't be another cause. Can you understand this? Example, now this is the effect of another cause. Another cause means my previous existence. Previous existence is the cause, and this is the effect. Right. Now, after my death, I create another effect. Then this will become the cause. That is how cause and effect exist. Cause become the effect. Next time that effect become the cause to create another effect. Then this one goes on like this. Cause and effect. So in between cause and effect, we experience pleasant and unpleasant feeling. We are responsible for that. It depends on how we handle, how we use, how we appreciate, how we abuse this life. So the pleasant, unpleasant feeling we experience according to our way of life. Somebody else is not responsible for that. Since we cannot understand this clearly, we say God is responsible for all the good things, devil is responsible for all the bad things. Because they cannot understand. Now what is this? The beginning. This is not the beginning. This is the cause, not the beginning. This is the main cause. Why do we take this as main cause? Since there are so many other causes, what is this main cause? That is called, what is that? Avidya. Avidya is the main cause. What is avidya? Avidya means ignorance. Our ignorance is the main cause. Why? Our ignorance maintain, develop, nurture all the other causes. Right? If there is no ignorance, there is no ground in the mind for all the other causes to exist. So the ignorance is a very good field to nurture, to cultivate all the other causes. Then you can ask this question. Now if we take ignorance as the main cause, then what is the cause of ignorance? There must be another cause, isn't it? Because just now I told you, one cause depends on another cause or effect. Then what is the cause of ignorance? I have told you. Can you remember? No, that is another thing. Ignorance prevails in the mind due to mental impurities, but we cannot give any particular names for them. Understand? Like sediments. When sediments accumulate in a glass or a pot or a vessel, after some time you can see bacteria, germs and living beings also there. So the bacteria also develop because of the sediment. So the mental sediments, that means mental impurities that we have developed earlier. So accumulated all these mental impurities act as ignorance. Because this ignorance cloud, close the clear vision or clear understanding That is called ignorance. Now we do mistake because of our ignorance. We know it is wrong, but our definitions of this good and bad is not depend on proper understanding. According to our own convenience, we define things as good and bad, but not through proper perspective. So, we start from our ignorance. Avidya paccaya sankhara. Then, this ignorance becomes the cause to create sankhara, join here. Now this sankhara, here, we start from here, number one. This one real nuisance. Try. Cannot use this. All right. This word sankhara, I do not know how many hundreds times that I have explained during my talk. In the Buddha's teaching, he has mentioned the Abhidhamma, 52 items, only 52, under sankharas, that we maintain as our intrinsic, by nature, how we maintain certain mental attitude. Few examples: our anger, jealousy, hatred or ill will. Then on the other hand, kindness, compassion, pity, sympathetic feeling, moods, temperaments. There are 52 items under this category. So all these things are our own, not given by our parents or God or devil. Our own. By birth, from our childhood, we maintain all those things. When our faculties develop, then we also increase all this mental attitude. Now we can see this very clearly. Kitten, puppies, and small children, when they are very young, all of them live together, sleep together, play, very friendly. Because during that time, their anger, their jealousy, their greed, and their moods are not developed, certain degrees. But when they grow, you can see how they fight. Small children fight. Their fighting is like this. At this moment, they fight. Within 1 or 2 minutes, again they become friends. Because they don't keep grudge. When you fight, throughout your life you keep this grudge in your mind. See the difference now? Cats and dogs also fight. Next moment when they meet, they are become friends. Puppies and kittens also fight. Again, they can get together very easily. It depends on how far we have developed our mental attitude. When we are very young, as brothers and sisters and live together, love each other so much. If father is a very rich man, after his death, we can see how they hate, how they fight, how they develop hatred, anger, jealousy, grudge, don't like to see each other. With why? Develop all these things at that age. All these things are here, hidden at the moment. Circumstances flare up one by one, create different mental attitude. There are many things for us to learn under Buddhism. So, now you can understand. So all these things we divide into two. Our mental attitudes we divide into two groups. In simple language, good deeds and bad deeds. Good karma or bad karma. So all are accumulated here. And who is responsible for this? This ignorance is responsible. Conditioned through the influence of this ignorance. This sankhara or mental tendency, the habits that we develop in our mind, condition another one. Avidya paccaya sankhara, sankhara paccaya vijnanam. And here, this is a junction. Better use blackboard. Real. Is there anything else that we can use? Because this is very important, this indication. Because this is the junction. Do you know? These two, ignorance and mental tendencies or mental habits, belong to our previous birth. Understand? That we have developed during our previous birth, this ignorance and mental tendencies. Then this is the junction. The previous birth and the present existence joined together. This one. This is called vijnana. Vijnana is the junction. What is vijnana? This is called patisandhi vijnana. Can you remember how I explained? What is the English interpretation? Relinking consciousness. There's a link with the previous birth. One end is there, the other end is here. Relinking consciousness. What is this link? Influence of this ignorance and influence of mental attitude, tendencies and habits. Then condition this one. Patisandhi vijnana. Patisandhi vijnana, relinking consciousness, which influence for the formation of another existence, either as human beings or devas or animals or spirits or ghosts or Brahmas. There is a link. Relinking consciousness originated from here. Right. Then, this relinking consciousness condition or create Nama and Rupa. That means when the previous consciousness, through the influence of these two, transmitted, then absorbed into mind and matter, Nama and Rupa. Then you can ask, here we talk about mind, and in this area we talk about consciousness. I told you, this is not the mind. This is the mental process transmitted from the previous birth as consciousness. I told you, this is not the mind. This is the mental process transmitted from the previous birth as consciousness. But here we are talking about pure mind, mental energy. This mental energy is not a polluted one. Now see the difference now. By using all our senses and creating imaginations, we pollute the purity of this pure mind. And those five senses and the mental image that we use were influenced by the previous experience. Slowly, gradually, step by step, we had to develop this. Otherwise, we never maintain peace in our mind. Impossible. We cannot live peacefully. Discrimination always prevails in this world. Then the unique feature, the special characteristics, the way how we take things into our mind by using our eyes and nose and the mouth and ear and the body due to the previous experience. And then there's a link. By using these, we pollute the purity of the mind. Like this. Electricity. Before we use any of these gadgets, pure electric current runs. Later, we use various gadgets. One is hot, the other one is cool, and this one is bright, and this one is turning, and this one creates noise. We pollute the purity of electricity, but for our own benefit. we also can misuse this to destroy for the destructive purpose. So what we do, the purity of the mind we disturb by using all these previous experience for our pleasure, for our own benefit, or to do some service to others, either for good purpose or bad purpose. This is the nature of the mind at this stage. But this mind is combined with the element. This is the stage where the mind joined with the elements. And what is the definitions of elements? Elements we define in very gross form, tangible things. Of course, wind we cannot touch, even then we can see the movement. Heat we can experience. Solidity, yes, we can experience. This is solid. And fluid, yes, we experience. Motions we experience. Breathing in, breathing out, that is motion. But this is in gross form. That means these elements also go back to the original form of energies, basic energies. These basic energies turn into elements later. Now this is the definitions of elements. One element can change into another kind of element. Water, when you keep in the freezer, in your fridge, fluidity turn into solidity, like stone, change. Again you take it out and keep on the table. After 1 or 2 hours time, again turn into fluidity. Then heat and the cold start from the same origin. When it is increased to certain degrees, we take this as heat. When it goes down to certain area, we take this as cold. But the same thing, that goes up and down. This is the nature of element. How changes take place. So, solidity, fluidity, heat and motions, these are the cosmic energies. The world or the universe exists because of these energies. All the planets and galaxies exist because of these energies. But we interpret them as elements. This is the place where they meet. Cosmic energies and mental energies join here. Then avidya paccaya sankhara, sankhara paccaya vijnanam, vijnana paccaya nama rupam. The mind and matter combined here. But still there is no life. Later, develop. Mind and matter develop as nucleus of life. Then go on developing and developing and developing and developing anywhere, in any congenial place, suitable place. So the Buddha has pointed out there are 31 places altogether. Here, on this earth, or in the water, or in the space, or anywhere. 31 places where this mind and matter can join and can originate another life. It is not a new life, but the element or the cosmic energies that which come and cooperate, harmonize, join with this mental energy, we can regard as new things. But the mental energy, mental process, unbreakable. When mental process goes like this, then here and there all the other cosmic energies, other factors, elements, and join and change the shape, the formation, or the structure of life. Then you can see two-legged, four-legged, and various forms, shape. But life is life. All these things are responsible for the formations of this different shape. It depends how we use our mind earlier, whether we behave as human beings, or whether we behave as animals, or whether we behave as devil. Then the formations of the next life take place due to that mental attitude with the cooperations of external cosmic energies. Right. Then this mind and matter, no ink here, then condition something else. What is that? Avidya paccaya sankhara, sankhara paccaya vijnanam, vijnana paccaya namarupa. Namarupa paccaya salayatanam. Six senses. Because of this combination, when the mind and matter join together, this combination create 6 senses. What are those 6 senses? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where is the other one? The mind also regard as a sense. 6 senses. Because without these 5 senses, we create mental image. Then we pollute our mind just because of the image that we created in the mind. If not, we purify the mind by using that mental object. That is called meditation. So when we meditate, we create an object to guard the mind, to control the mind, to train the mind, then some sort of purity remains at that time. So develop all the 6 senses here. Right. Then the development of these 6 senses, now I cannot see, all broken here and there because of this pen, this one, no sign. Next time I never use this one. So the development of the 6 senses later creates something else. What is that? Salayatana paccaya phasso. What is this? What is that? Contact. By using one of these senses, we contact certain external objects. Then we use eyes, nose, mouth, ear, the body and the mind. Mind also contact. But these senses cannot contact anything. Please remember. Mind is using these senses as channels, vehicles, to grasp external objects. That is called eye consciousness, ear consciousness. All these are consciousness. That means these senses are related to the mind. Mind is working through my eyes. Mind is working through my nose. So when I experience taste, bitter or sweetness, mind is experiencing the taste, but use the tongue to experience it. Get the message. Then what will happen? When we contact external object by using one of these senses, and that feeling creates something else. What is that? Sankhara paccaya vijnanam, vijnana paccaya namarupam, namarupaccaya salayatanam, salayatana paccaya phasso, contact. Phassa paccaya vedana. Then we experience vedana. 3 kinds of feeling because of this contact. So what are those 3 kinds of feeling? Pleasant, unpleasant and neutral. Through all these senses, every minute or every second, we experience either good or bad or neutral feeling. So the good one and bad one we take seriously and keep in the mind. Neutral one, just ignore. That is why we don't feel it. Example, when you go out, on the way you may meet hundreds or thousands of others. Yes, you look at the face for nothing, just walk on, that's all. Then you meet one of your good friends. Then you can see how you laugh and talk and how you feel, what sort of happiness. You go home and tell others, oh, today I met so and so. After so many years, I feel very happy. If not on the way you meet one of your enemies, sour face, staring at each other, go home and tell, today I met that fellow, I don't know, I'm having headache. Unfortunately, I met that fellow. This is the nature of good and bad feeling. We create through the senses. But you never talk about all the others you met on the way. I met so many people, one is tall, the other one short, the other one fat, the other one dark. No, you never talk about this. Because all these are neutral. Can you understand? This is the way how we create, develop good and bad thoughts in our mind. Because of this, one of these senses. Then, what is the next one? Vedana. This feeling that we experienced create what? Tanha. Tanha. What is that? Craving. This is the area in the mind where we develop or create craving. Earlier, craving had no place to act. I remember one day I told you, but I cannot use this nuisance, and I told you, a man who goes out by this time and sleep under a mango tree, and he covers his face also, sleeping very peacefully. So when he was sleeping, suddenly he heard some sort of sound. Before that, he was maintaining his mind in a certain state that is called passive consciousness. Passive consciousness means when the mind keeps quiet without taking any objects into the mind. At that stage, the mind is inactive. That means relax. That is why we need sleep. No doubt we experience dreams. That is due to the influence of subconscious mind. That is another story. So after hearing this sound, open one channel here. Then the mind become active. Use the mental energy through this sense. Then that feeling that he had, sound, vibration, creates the idea that I must see what it is. Then he opened, he unveiled his face and goes on searching and found out something. He saw something. Then opened another channel. Now this channel also working with the mind. Two channels are working now. Having seen, he wanted to touch, because cannot decide what it is. Then he touched this one, opened another channel, this body. Three channels are working. Now he wants to know whether it is usable or eatable. Smell. Open another channel. Yes, nice smell. Now he wants to know whether it is sweet or bitter or eatable. Then the bite. Sweet. Very nice lah. All the five senses are active now. Mind is not quiet. That is the area in the mind where we develop craving. Earlier he never developed craving. After tasting, he developed craving. Now he wants to eat more. So what he did? He climbed the tree and started to pluck. Then the owner of the tree heard somebody is plucking the mango. He came out, shouted at him. That man also shouted. Then the fight. And before that, he violated one precept. That is churi. He wanted to pluck fruit from another tree, which belonged to somebody else without permission. It is churi, it is stealing. And he violated one precept because of that craving. So craving is the main cause to violate all the other precepts and morals. If there is no craving, we never violate anything. Then, big fight. Scold at each other, if not beat each other. Big commotion. And what is the cause? Here, craving. But when we had to go back again to this place, ignorance. Ignorance is responsible for maintaining all these things up to here. That is why we take this as main cause. Tanha paccaya upadana. Because of that craving, we want to gain, possess. Then we fight. Whole world is fighting today because of this craving. We may give so many other reasons, but define one after the other, we come back to the same place. Why can't they live peacefully without disturbing another person, without bluffing, cheating, swindling, accusing, craving? When this craving is eradicated one day, then we experience what sort of peace, bliss, happiness we can experience. Today we have no peace because of this craving. We blame others, but the craving is the cause. Then what happened after this craving? Upadana, so we develop this feeling that we want to enjoy, we want to eat, we want to experience, we want to keep, we want to accumulate, all these things because of this craving. Then, up to this area, here another junction now. All these things we have done from here within this lifetime. Now coming to an end. After this craving, we develop the idea that we want to gain. Then this attitude develop attachment towards all the other existing things. That is why when the Buddha talked about rebirth, he used these two words, tanha upada. These two things are responsible at that particular moment, but there are so many others behind. What is that? Our craving and grasping, attachment. So craving, force, and that attachment, pull, like magnetic power. Attachment becomes the magnetic power, pull. Craving, force it. Then create something else. This attitude creates something else. That is called bhava here. This is a very complicated word, bhava. That means everything that we develop throughout our life as our mental attitude or karma, karmic force. It's called karma bhava. Formations of all karmic activities. It is invisible. And this force that we have accumulated as karma bhava, the formations of the next life depend on this. But it is invisible. But some others interpret this, one particular school of Buddhism is called Sarvastivadi. They interpret this in different ways. They say this is bhava. Bhava means a spirit. The concept that the majority here in this world maintain after our death, some sort of spirit remain for some time. This is the junction. Even one school of Buddhism also maintained this belief. At once, rebirth or the conceptions never take place, according to them. But the real meaning of the word used by the Buddha is called karma bhava, not the spirit. Karma bhava means all the accumulated karma. Then one particular karma take the responsibility for the formations of this life. That is called karma bhava, not the spirit. But that way, when we take as a spirit, it's easy for us to understand. That is the only difference. Then another junction. Because of this karmic formation, bhavapacchaya jati. Jati means formations of another life. Here, again we separate. Start the next birth, next life. Up to here, previous birth. From here up to this area, present, all the mental activities. From here, again start the next life. Then, bhavapatya jati. Here jati means conception. Conception in the mother's womb or anywhere where life can exist, originated. But all these things, one after the other, influence each other up to this stage. Then originated, another existed. So, what will happen? Conception or take birth, easy to understand, become the cause. Jatipatya, jara, maranam, soka, parideva, dukkha, domanassa, upaya. All sort of kachao come after that. We complain, blame, accuse, curse for others, for our problem. That is the problem. Problems were created by us, not by others. So, what is the cause of our sicknesses? Cause of our sicknesses is our birth. If there is no birth, nobody to suffer from sickness. What is the cause of our old age? The cause of our old age is our birth. If there is no birth like this, there is nobody to suffer as an old man, old woman. What is the cause of our death? The cause of death is our birth. If there is no birth, there is no death. Then to whom are we going to blame for this? When we suffer? Blame God? Blame devil? That we do not know anything about our existence. Then, after that, soka, parideva, dukkha, domanassa, upaya. So that means worries, miseries, lamentation, frustration, disappointments, unhappiness, thousands and one thing. Because of this. Then, one after the other, all these things just now I mentioned, come up to here. Understand? Now you can see the link. And all these things again supported this ignorance. Charge the battery of the ignorance by going one round, what you have accumulated, and again charge the battery of this ignorance. We are at the beginning now. Then start another round in the same way. Differences take place only in our structure. Once as humans, next time as animals, after that as devas, or next time as brahmas, and again as ghosts, and again as humans. It depends what we accumulate, how we behave, how we use this mind during this period, this existence. Then to whom are you going to blame for this? In simple language, the Buddha said this: you are the result of what you were. You will be the result of what you are. There is no difference whatsoever. All our good attitudes are influenced by the good karmic result. All our bad attitudes, evil, influenced by the bad karmic attitude. These things we take as intrinsic. because we have used our mind earlier. Take for instance, assume I was a very cruel, very wicked man during my previous birth. But certain other good karmas supported me to be a human being, to be born as human being. But even then, after becoming a human being, still I used that mental attitudes that I developed and used during my previous birth. So good and bad attitudes we maintain in this way. There are some good people, under any circumstances, they never change their mind. They never surrender. They maintain their principles. They may lose many things, but they uphold their principle. But such people are very few in this world today. This is our intrinsic mental attitude. Your question is a very good one. We can talk a lot, It's a very meaningful question. And this kind of things, at least half an hour to clarify. Because it is mentioned in Buddhism. When you read Mahasamaya Sutra, in Paritta chanting book, see, Yekeci buddhang saranang gatate nate gamisanti apaya pahaya manusang dehang devakayang paripuresanti. That means, even at the last moment, before they are dead, those who take refuge in the Buddha, nate gamisanti apaya. If that devotions or confidence or inspiration prevail in the mind at that moment, dying moment, nate gamisanti apaya, difficult to go to hell. Although he has committed bad karmas. Understand? Your argument is, it is not justifiable. You are right. Now what is the fate of a man after committing so many evil deeds throughout his life? At the last moment, the picture of the Buddha appeared in his mind and rebirth has taken place as one of the devas or as human being. What is the fate of this person? The fate is like this. Because of that particular good karma that he maintained at the dying moment, rebirth consciousness, or what you call this relinking consciousness, or the generative karma, influence that person to be born as deva or manusa, but won't last there. Maybe few days or few weeks or very short period. Because that karma is not strong enough for that person to carry on this way of life. That is how, why death takes place in many cases immediately after giving birth or after a few days or few months. Another aspect, when you see, although we have committed certain bad karmas, recalling the Buddha into our mind at that moment, we may escape the immediate punishment. Punishment means effect, but not each and every bad karma. This definition also must be there. Certain bad karmas, remember, under any circumstances we cannot change. Certain evil karmas. Even the Buddha is in front of us before our death. The Buddha also cannot stop us. That is the nature of that evil bad deed. But there are many other bad deeds, bad karmas that we accumulate during our lifetime, changeable under such circumstances. Is it clear now? Without going into details, just now I mentioned, there are five kinds of, let us use the word mortal sins. Just like mortal sins, there are five. If anyone committed one of them, any amount of good karma, do you know King Ajatasattu committed this. He killed his own father to become the king. He could not tolerate it until the father died. Later he became a Buddhist. He knew he has done so much meritorious deeds, thinking that he will be able to overcome, but impossible. But later he will experience the good effect. What is it? No, no one can attain arahanthood after committing one of them. Impossible. Not even arahanta, even jhana stage also. Through meditation, difficult to develop even that after committing.
Sākāgattha Bummatti Devānāgā Mahiddhikā Puññantang Anumodittva Chirang Rakkhantu Loka Sāsanam Ittavata ca Amhehi Sambhatang Puñña Sampadang Sabbe Deva Anumodantu Sabba Sampatti Siddhya Devo Vassatu Kālena Sassa Sampatti Hetuca Gito Bhavatu Loko ca Raja Bhavatu Dhammiko Idam me jati nang hotu sukita huntu ñātayo imina puñña kammena māme bāla samāgamo satang samāgamo hotu yāva nibbāna pattiyā.